So it's taken me a while to actually um, do a video like this. And I think it's taken me so long because it's not about getting pity or anything like that. But I think that I just need to get it out. So I'm a widow. My husband passed away in November 1999. And oftentimes people will think, hey, you should be over it by now. Everything should be just fine in your life. But there's no really expiration date of grief. You just kind of learn how to live with it, which is what I've, done along the years. But at the same time, when my husband passed away, my daughters were 3 and 1. So there was no time for me to grieve. There was no time for me to have those moments. There was no time for me to roll in the floor and, just take all of those moments to grieve through it. I had to be about the business of now being a single parent. That wasn't something that I ever expected. And especially, I didn't expect it so soon, but it happened. And it was tough. Um, so that was 18 of those 24 years of just taking care of my girls. And then after that, um, I'm thinking that I was going to, have some time to grieve. And um, my oldest daughter was making some transitions. So trying to help her through those transitions. And then after that, my mom got sick and ultimately passed away. And then it was COVID. So she passed away the month right when COVID was hitting. And then a second mom of mine passed away in October. Um, then I had to sell my house. Yeah. Then I was thankful to live with a friend of mine for a year and ultimately moved back to Georgia. Um, it's been tough. And a lot of times people don't look at widowhood as a tough space. I'm usually a very positive person. I'm usually one who, goes and delves right into the Word of God and speaks life into the lives of other people and things of that nature. But there are those days where it's tough, whether it's physically tough because I'm just exhausted, whether it's mentally and emotionally tough because I am lonely at times, or sometimes whether it's financially tough because everything is on my plate and some days it seems like nothing is working out. Or whether it's spiritually tough to where I look at everyone on social media and I enjoy hearing the word and watching people do what I love to do. I love preaching the word of God, but there are days where that door is closed for me. I don't get to preach like I used to. Um, and I'm not saying that that's because I'm a widow, but life gets hard, especially, after you think that you are going to have a spouse, have a mate for years and years and years. Um, I've been reaching out to some of the marriage conferences because I think there's a component that's missing at the marriage conferences. And that component is from the voice of widowed. Um, I think that's an important component, or should be a component, of marriage ministries or marriage conferences, because there is somebody that is attending that conference or that event or that ministry that's not going to be married when it comes around again. They're going to lose their spouse. And that's going to be one of the most devastating things that will happen in their lives. And the unfortunate part is, at the marriage conferences or events or what have you, no one is talking to them about enjoying your marriage while it's still we, because there is going to come a time where it's just me. How do you navigate going from we to me? That's not something that anybody talks about. Now, the Bible talks about widowhood. It talks about the woman who Elijah helped because she couldn't pay off the debts of her husband. And so they were going to come and get her sons. And Elijah said, "What do you have in your house?" And she said, "Well, all I have is this oil." And I don't think that people realize that that's a lot of widows. We don't have a lot. Sometimes our spouses will pass away and there's no life insurance. Sometimes our spouses will pass away and the kids come and they want everything. Yeah, that happens too. Sometimes, it's you have all of the money, but you would rather have them than have the money. So there are so many dynamics when you are widowed, and especially for widows, the women that are out here. Not to negate the widowers, because I'm sure some of them have those hard times as well. But as a widow, I can really speak to that part. It's tough, because for widows, and especially, it gets lonely. We have to, navigate everything. And, we've been told that you just got to wait on somebody to find you. You can't be out here in these streets, just dating everybody and doing everything. Whew, that becomes a lot for us. Because as we're waiting on somebody, people don't understand that the people that used to call us when we were married, they don't call us anymore. They don't come see us anymore. Now we have to call them, and we have to make sure they're okay before they'll check to see whether we're okay. Before, when I was married, my phone would ring uncontrollably. I had friends that would call. I had friends that we would go out on dates with, and, we would talk to and counsel with and things of that nature. And their marriages thrived, and they had good lives and were just doing the thing. But then it seemed like after he passed away, all of that went away. My phone stopped ringing. They stopped slinging the chicken. It just felt so alone. And some days it still feels that way. I'm better and I can live with it a little bit more now. But there are still those days where it's like, girl, you still by yourself. And don't get me wrong. I am an introvert trapped in an extrovert's body. So most of the time, I'm okay. I'm pretty quiet and I like, having that alone time. But then there are days where I just want to have that somebody to hold my hand, to touch my knee, to grab me and hug me and kiss me. Yeah. I'm still human. I'm still a woman. I still like affection. That's what people don't believe about widows, you know? Um, but it gets hard. And so I just wanted to basically take this time to say to those who are widowed, um, I'm here. I get it. I understand. And for those who are around widows or who know widows or, were friends and now you have your own life and so you're ignoring them, don't do that. Pick up the phone. Check on them. Take them out. Don't be afraid. Yeah, we are probably going to have a moment. We may have some tears to roll down our face. We may talk about him. We may say his name, or our husband may say her name. Don't stop being around us because we miss our spouses. It's what's going to happen. Oh, and let me just say this. For those of you who have walked through divorce, my heart goes out to you because I'm sure that has to be tough. But I'm going to please ask you, don't compare it to widowhood. It's not the same. Yeah, they both have grief, but it's not the same. Because whereas after your divorce, even though he's your ex, you can still see him. You may not want to, but he's still alive and breathing. And if you have children by him or her, then they still have access to their parent. So, while I do feel for you after the divorce, because that is tough, please don't try to compare it to widowhood. Has a tinge of a difference because we can't see him or her. We can't touch them. We can't even yell at them. So, I'm going to have some more because I think it's time that we pay attention to those of us who have lost our loved ones, our husbands, our wives. It's time. Because one day, for those who are married, this could be you. And how are you going to feel? What will you say? So, I just wanted to share that with you. We'll talk soon. Bye.